All right, let's dive into the very heart of your computer, the place where your digital life actually lives. We're talking about the two technologies that make it all possible, the classic hard disk drive and the super-fast solid-state drive. This is going to be fun.
You know that feeling, right? That little pause, the spinning wheel. That moment you're just waiting for a program to open, a game to load. Well, it turns out the reason for that wait is actually a pretty fascinating story of engineering.
And in this story, we've got two main characters. On one side, we have the hard disk drive. You could call it the mechanical master. And on the other, the solid-state drive, the electronic challenger. They both have the same goal, to store your stuff, but believe me, the way they get it done could not be more different.
So let's start with something we've all felt. The huge difference between that frustrating lag and a computer that just feels snappy, like lightning. This isn't just about things being faster, it's about the physics behind that speed.
See, this really comes down to two completely different ways of thinking. One is all about incredible mechanical precision, with moving parts doing a delicate dance. The other is about pure, silent electronic speed.
Okay, so let's pop the hood on the classic, the HDD. To really get why it makes you wait, you gotta see the amazing little machine that's whirring away inside.
An HDD is honestly a marvel of engineering. The best way to think about it is like a tiny, ridiculously fast record player. Imagine trying to find a single, specific note on a vinyl record that's spinning thousands of times every single minute. That's what an HDD is doing for you every second of every day. So here's how that dance works. First, these magnetic platters, they spin at an incredible speed. While that's happening, a physical arm has to literally swing across the platter to find the exact right track. And then, a tiny little head at the tip has to read or write the data. Every one of those steps is a physical movement.
And right there, that physical process is the HDD's biggest weakness. The time it takes for that arm to move and for the right part of the disk to spin under the head, well, that's a delay we call latency. Now, we're talking about milliseconds, which sounds fast to us, right? But for a modern computer processor, that's an absolute eternity. That delay is the lag you feel.
All right, now let's leave that world of spinning disks and moving arms and step into the quiet, still world of our other character, the solid-state drive.
The magic words here are no moving parts. I'm going to say that again. No moving parts. An SSD doesn't use magnets or spinning platters. Instead, it uses some slick physics to literally trap electrons in these tiny, microscopic cells. No spinning, no seeking, and almost no waiting.
A great way to picture it is like a giant grid with billions of tiny light switches. To get any piece of data, the drive's controller just electronically flips the right switch. That's it. There are no platters that have to spin up, no arms that have to move into place. And the result? Getting your data is, for all intents and purposes, instantaneous.
Okay, so we've got mechanical movement versus silent electronics. Let's put them head to head and see what this all means when you look at the actual hard numbers. This is where it gets really interesting. And whoa, the numbers here are just staggering. Look at latency, that delay we talked about. An SSD is over 30 times more responsive. But the real killer difference is IOPS. That stands for input/output operations per second. Basically, it's how many little jobs the drive can juggle at once, which is absolutely crucial for your operating system. And here, an SSD isn't just a little better, it can be over 1,000 times better. Now, that's not a typo.
So what does 1,000 times better feel like? Well, this is it. Loading a big, modern game means grabbing thousands of tiny files all at once. The hard drive just chugs along, taking almost a minute. A modern NVMe SSD, that's the super fast kind, does the whole thing in 7 seconds. That is a direct result of that insane IOPS advantage we just saw.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, with performance like that, why on earth would anyone still use a hard drive? Well, the answer is super simple. Money. It's all about cost. For the same price, you can get 4, sometimes even 8 times more storage space with an HDD. And that makes them the undisputed king of cheap bulk storage.
And that brings us to the big practical question. Which one is right for you? See, it's not really about which one is better overall. It's about picking the right tool for the right job.
So here's the strategy. You want to put that SSD speed where it counts the most. That means your operating system, your most used programs, your current games, anything you need to feel fast and responsive. This is what makes your whole computer feel snappy. And because they have no moving parts, they're way more durable, making them a must-have for laptops.
Your hard drive, on the other hand, becomes your giant digital warehouse. It is perfect for all the stuff you don't need to access in a split second. Your huge library of movies, all your music, system backups, photo archives. For this stuff, massive capacity at a low price is exactly what you want.
And that, right there, leads us to the perfect solution for most people these days. You use both. It's a hybrid approach. You get a speedy SSD for your operating system and programs, and a big, beefy HDD for all your files. You literally get the best of both worlds.
So where does our story go from here? Is the trusty old hard drive going the way of the floppy disk? Well, the reality is actually way more interesting than that.
The future, it seems, isn't about one of these technologies killing the other one off. It's more of a story of coexistence, where they each specialize and get even better at what they already do best.
So what does that look like? Well, HDDs are pushing the absolute limits of physics, trying to cram an unbelievable amount of data, we're talking 50 terabytes and beyond, onto a single drive for the world's giant data centers. Meanwhile, SSDs are just getting denser and faster, becoming the high-performance engine of our digital lives.
So as our digital universe just keeps on expanding, all that data needs a home. The question is, what will that home look like? Will we keep relying on the vast, affordable warehouses of hard drive tech, or will we lean into the instantaneous teleporters that are SSDs? Or maybe, just maybe, the next chapter in this story is something we haven't even imagined yet.